Hello, and welcome to The Listening Room, a spirituality podcast brought to you by SpiritSourceConnect.com. My name is Suzanne Goulet, and in each episode, I'll be speaking to you about new spirituality and how you can use it to improve your daily life. By offering you insights, tools, and techniques, you'll become more aware of your connection to a higher power and begin to accelerate your path to a life of greater joy, ease, and flow. Enjoy. So for today's broadcast, we have a particular topic I'm going to be focusing on, and many of my topics actually go in succession. So if you're, happy with what you heard today, I encourage you to go back several other broadcasts and you can download those for free and kind of follow along in the discussion that I'm having. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I've been on a spiritual path since very early age. I've lived in several places around the country and the world, and I now teach people how to connect with their higher selves and connect directly with Source. I have live courses going on, and I also have all of the previous courses that I have conducted recorded on audio and available for you to download on my website. And also keep in mind that even while I'm doing the broadcast, I'm doing the best that I can to be speaking to you and to be listening through inner guidance on what are the important messages to emphasize in this show. Okay? So I want to talk to you a little bit about why I wanted to discuss this particular topic today. The topic is personal transformation and that of the world. How are they related? How is our own spiritual progress assisting with that of the rest of the world? So the subject of how our own personal growth and our own spiritual development, how we overcome the difficulties and the challenges in our lives actually affects the frequency and the energy of that same particular topic for everyone around the world. For everyone globally. I became very interested in talking about this because I spent the January 17th broadcast discussing Haiti because the earthquake had happened just 3 or 4 days before. And it was such a shock. And it forced me to ask so many questions about why Haiti, of all places, when this country has been oppressed and in poverty and with corrupt governments and dictatorships. On top of that multitude of hurricanes, this has been a very, very difficult time in the last 150 years for this country, and it just can't seem to get on its feet. I also want to recognize there are over 40,000 NGOs, that is non-government organizations, that are established in Haiti and had already been contributing quite a bit. But once the earthquake hit, and it hit in Port-au-Prince, which is the center of all commerce and it's the greatest population center in Haiti, 3 million people live there. That's the size of Chicago. I had to really ask spiritually, why was this occurring? And I had a few inclinations, and I discussed that in that previous broadcast, which have to do with the wounds of the world now coming into the light and being exposed. Although there had been so much trouble in Haiti for so long, it has just never been on the forefront of our news or in our minds unless there's a catastrophe there. And I also feel that we are learning how to act and come in with compassion and with aid globally. We had our first major exercise with this when the tsunami hit several years ago in Thailand. And it was one of the first major mobilizations. I'm not going to say it was the first. It was one of the first major international mobilizations to come in and bring aid because everyone was wiped out of food, of housing, of fresh water, hospitals, everything. Next, we had Katrina, and we learned a lot about ourselves there as a country, didn't we? For those of you who are listening who are from the U.S., we learned a lot of the inadequacies that we had in our system, and that then spurred us on to begin to be able to fix those and get those all in order. We also saw and learned a great deal about New Orleans that we were not aware of. The poverty, the crime, the education system, the living conditions. Although New Orleans is one of our greatest cities, we had no clue about how bad things were there. And also with city planning, with most of the city, the majority of the city being under sea level. So we saw all of the environmental damages we had done in removing barrier islands, and New Orleans became very, very susceptible, and there it was, it came to us. And New Orleans continues to provide us with lessons to learn on how we can better the role of government, better the role of nonprofit organizations, and continue to assist our brothers and sisters there. Now we have Haiti. And this is likely what people have been saying, one of the most devastating human tragedies that they have seen in a very long time. So what is this calling us to do? In my broadcast of January 17th, I asked us all to do two different things. One of them was to look within ourselves and see what kind of reflection we were going to be receiving there. If you had an emotional tug when you were watching the news, it's likely that there is something within yourself that needs healing and transformation and evolution as well. This doesn't have to be very complicated, but you can begin to ask yourself, is there an aspect of myself that feels much like the abandoned child, the child without parents, the orphan? Is there an aspect of myself that feels fear for my own survival? Is there an aspect of myself, and I'm not talking about in your personality, I'm not talking about in your waking consciousness. I'm asking if you can go a little bit deeper within right now and ask, is there a small aspect of myself that is hidden, that is being pulled into the light right now based on the mirror reflection of what I'm seeing in the news from Haiti? Is there some way that I need to care for myself more? Is there some way that I'm afraid that I am not being taken care of? Is there some way that I feel helpless in being able to assist? So that was one of the exercises I asked people to go through. And another one was to set a very high and positive intention for the present and the future of Haiti. That it doesn't really do us any good that whenever we are thinking about Haiti or other catastrophes around the world, other wars that are currently going on around the world, to continue to hold negative vibration towards those images and towards those situations. So I asked everyone that as soon as they were starting to think of Haiti or seeing something of Haiti, just have a little switch go off inside of you that changes those images and brings you into a place of being very positive intending in visualizing a really successful, prosperous, and abundant, very, very successful Haiti. And it is our collective visions and our collective intentions that can bring and assist to bring this about. And that is really the substance of my talk today. because I'm not buying into that we're completely separate and not connected. In my personal point of view, and this is spiritual material that has been around for a very, very long time, we are all one. And what does that mean? I see everything and every one of us as energy. And what does that mean if we're all energy together as part of one whole? It means that every aspect of the world out there is also an aspect within us. And every aspect within us, it follows, is also an aspect we can find out there in the world. We all know from our spiritual studies that everything that we experience out in the world is a mirror reflection of what we are holding within. So I brought up the subject of Haiti for everyone because it was clearly in our faces. We were seeing some awful, awful images, and it calls us to ask, what is this mirror reflection trying to tell me? And once we do some inner work there, and we ask for clarity and understanding, and we make choices to embrace whatever hurt or pain we are feeling within that identifies with the people there, we are assisting in transforming those energies globally. This is a very important point in the bulk of what I'm talking about today. As you choose to look within and shift and heal and embrace with compassion any of the hurts or the pains or the traumas that you perhaps have sustained or that you are feeling compassion for, then you are also assisting in the universal energy of transforming pain and trauma and catastrophes. It's as though almost the Haitian people, and this is on a purely energetic level, it's as though the Haitian people have offered themselves up to the rest of the world to show us where our own wounds might be so that we can come to a place of healing about them. Let me repeat that. It's as though the Haitian people, or we can use the examples of any kind of oppression that you're witnessing in your life, it's as though they have offered themselves up in all of this pain and all of this death to show us where it is inside of us that needs to be healed and transformed. And as we do that inner work together with Spirit, that's with a capital S, as we allow Spirit to come in and assist us in healing and transforming this pain, we are doing a tremendous amount for the rest of the world. We are cutting through uncharted territory, and we are assisting in helping to grow and to expand God. And as the energy of the universe continues to heal and transform, so may we see so many situations around the world heal and transform as well. I want to offer a little bit of evidence to that I've seen recently. You know, one of the things that I did on the broadcast for Haiti was carry everyone through a guided meditation that focused on very high and positive intentions for that country, that we would see her bring a lot of the chaos into order, that we would see her bring her poverty into prosperity, that we would see her begin to flourish with her culture and her arts and her food, that we could begin to see this beautiful tropical island become a destination for so many to come and enjoy. There's just gorgeous weather and gorgeous scenery and landscapes. However, that is not anything like what Haiti has been experiencing. So as we envision and we hold a very high intent for her, we're expecting miracles to occur. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be in all areas of our lives. Expecting miracles. So just this week, I saw on the news there was an interview with a university professor in Canada. I think it was the University of Toronto, and he's a PhD there. And he was formerly from Haiti. And he was well aware and part of a community of Haitians that had left the country over the years. And he said actually there's a very, very large community of Haitians that are not in Haiti that have become very, very successful in their lives. They're business leaders, they're professors, and there's a huge population actually in France. There are many populations of Haitians all over the world. There's a huge population in New York City. I think in many major cities around the world, there are very many Haitians who have chosen to leave their country and make a better life for themselves. And so the good news is that this university professor, this PhD, said that they were now beginning to organize a huge international conference that will be taking place in Canada for all business leaders and Haitian leaders in general to come together and see how they could organize to do a great deal of good to not only take care of the emergencies right now, but put Haiti on a path of permanent recovery. That is, rebuilding infrastructure, assisting in formulating a government that is sustainable and effective and working for and by the people. And so that was a huge event. That was a huge indication to me that there were some major positive things happening. Another event that occurred was that Bill Clinton was named by the United Nations to be the special envoy to Haiti. Now, he has had this position before, but they've asked him to become more active in organizing the progress forward. And he only had a very brief interview, but he landed there. And in that interview, he said, just prior to the earthquake, maybe, 6 months to a year before, they had been working very closely with the Haitian government to get a plan for rebuilding the country and moving forward with it. And that was before the earthquake hit. And so he is now going to be assisting in implementing that plan to move forward. These are major events, and I want to acknowledge to everyone who may have participated in that positive intentioning for Haiti, and that we can now begin to look for positive results in our work and get a clear understanding that energetically we are connected. Energetically, when you assist in healing your own inner pain and trauma, embrace it, allow it to heal and evolve, and then receive guidance from Spirit to positively intend miracles to occur. This is how miracles happen. It's the healing and transformation, and it's the positive intentioning, and sort of surrendering the outcome to Spirit and allow it to occur.
This is Suzanne, and I want to thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this program and would like to receive a free gift, please visit spiritsourceconnect.com. Thank you.